And now they're ready to hit the town in Violator's Cruisin' Convertible.
Let's go to the mall, Spawn.
Hey everyone, this is Josh from before, and I'm here with McFarlane Toys Overtkill MegaFig from Spawn Wave 3. Overtkill's got to be one of the worst names in comics, right? Overtkill. It's not good. You know, I had some reservations about this guy based on the promo photos. Looking at him in hand right now, even in the box, I'm like, wow, this looks way better than I expected. So I'm starting to get pretty excited about opening him up. Let's just go ahead and do that, right? All right, let's spin him around. This is kind of the undead, reanimated, reassembled Overtkill, which in theory, I kind of dig that design more than the original Overtkill design. Although, you know, earlier previous Overtkill figures that had a lot more paint, I think, had an aesthetic edge over this guy here. But in theory, he's cool. He's got quite a bit of presence. He's got like sort of Judge Dredd 2000 AD sort of vibe that I really dig. But, well, let's just bring him in for a closer look, yeah? Okay, so just getting him out of the box straight away. If you collect the DC Multiverse line at all, and you've seen maybe King Shark, which was a hybrid of sturdy, solid, high-grade plastic and thin, brittle plastic, and ditto for Clayface, where they had this big torso piece was the brittle stuff, but then the stuff on the arms was a bit sturdier. This guy is just pretty much brittle throughout. He did like the plastic, the arms, the legs, the torso. It all feels just kind of hollow, lightweight, a little cheap. You look at him, you think, oh, this guy's going to be a huge brick. Feels real heavy. And then you get him in hand, and it just kind of doesn't quite have that heft, that premium heft you kind of expect from these MegaFigs. So I'm finding myself a little underwhelmed by the in-hand feel right away. But let's come in here. This sculpt is actually pretty fantastic. I think most of all, the figure suffers from inconsistent paint apps. I mean, I think that's clear straight away. With these turquoise pieces just not having much on there to bring out the details. But when you come up here to like his head and his torso, the paint looks fantastic in some spots, and then others not so much. Like the skin here on the torso has this nice wash to bring out these like pock marks and like rotting flesh. But then some pieces of these silver with the robotic, you know, hints of robotic pieces underneath, they don't have any kind of wash on them, and they look a little two-dimensional. You know what I mean? I love the hints of this robotic stuff underneath his rotting skin. It feels very Judge Dredd, very heavy metal to me. But, you know, come up here where it's fantastic paint detail on this rotten face here, and then you come around to the cyborg eye, and it feels a little flat in comparison, right? One thing I really do like about the sculpt here is that the arms, the armor, the legs, the leg armor, the feet even, they've got some slight asymmetrical details here. So it's not just a, you know, mirrored, perfectly symmetrical design from top to bottom. There's just some little things to throw off the symmetry, and make it feel just a little more fresh and fun to just pour over the details. Start moving them around here. The head takes on some nice personality when you move it around, but it's not, you know, the most range in the world because of this big chunky neck. This armor on the shoulder here is on a ball joint that moves around. So when you lift the arm, you might have a little bit to work with here. So this arm definitely won't even get up to a T because of this armor piece here starts hitting right away. This one gets up higher. It doesn't quite have much butterfly movement here. But it gets up to a full T, it rotates. Gets up that far. I love the look of the articulation throughout. It's got this robotic, mechanical look to all the joints. But wow, they sure don't move too much. Less than 90 degree. Sculpted in hinge that rotates there. The elbows, the single elbows do rotate as well, but this guy's not going to be a gymnast. Some okay movement at the waist. Not a ton to speak of. The legs want to stay wide, like they don't really close more than that. He wants to have this wide-legged stance. Great kicks, at least forward. Back, not so much. No real rotation to speak of at the hips. Pretty stiff in there. It's about 90 at the knee. So maybe we will be able to get a little bit of dynamic motion in the poses here. Sculpted in hinge at the... And the knees do rotate as well. That's very helpful. Sculpted in hinge at the ankles. Love the detail underneath the feet here, at the bottom of the feet. No toes. No toes? I mean, it looks like they even were trying to figure out how to get the pin in there and have it be a sculpted detail, and there's no toe articulation. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The in-hand feel, the limited range of movement, and then just the overall kind of half-finished feel to the paint job here. It's just kind of a perfect storm of things that keep him from really dazzling me. You know, the armor plates, they have a light wash on them, and they've got some asymmetrical details here, but they just look kind of unfinished compared to everything else. All the mechanical bits on the legs and arms have a nice wash to bring out those cool details, and these just feel bare in comparison. One little thing I do really love, though, is that these fingers on this hand are kind of soft. So while it's not a big, like, open hand that could maybe grab a figure, you might be able to fit some things in there. It's a little forgiving. That's nice. I kind of wish his hands were a little bigger. They feel a little puny, poking out from underneath this huge chunky armor, right? So for the MegaFigs, personally, a lot of the value comes in at how can they be interacting with normal size figures in really fun ways. So, you know, there's some potential here. You know, you could really have them kicking guys' asses in a lot of creative ways. The scale is pretty fun, but really let's compare here. Now we start looking at him next to some other Spawn figures that tend to be kind of large to begin with, and this guy, he kind of only feels like medium big for a MegaFig. I mean, maybe you think he's huge next to Clown here, but compare him to the Violator MegaFig, and I mean, it's no contest. The value, you know, these are the same price. The value on this one feels far greater, in my opinion. So next to She-Spawn and the Throne Spawn, which those figures are a little bit daintier, he feels a little bit bigger next to them. Here he is next to Kickstarter Spawn and the new Spawn Throne. Here he is next to King Shark and Clayface from the DC Multiverse line. I keep saying that this guy doesn't feel quite as big as some of the other MegaFigs, even though he clearly is very large. And I think what it is that a lot of these MegaFigs, they just tend to have more monstrous proportions, not quite human shape. And that, for me, ends up contributing to the fun factor and stuff. And so this guy is just more of a conventional human shape, which is just, I think, keeping him from blowing me away in the way that these other crazy creatures do. And if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, then you may know that a new frequent commenter is inducted into the From Before Figs Wall of Fame during every new review and live stream. And today's entry is the great first name, last name. First name, last name. Thanks for being such a great friend of the channel and participating during the live streams, the live premieres, the game streams. Always good to see you around. Let's hear it in the comments for first name, last name. So, Overtkill. This is a really great sculpt, and custom painters are gonna have an absolute field day and make this thing look dynamite. As it is, out of the box for 50 bucks, it feels a little bit like a perfect storm of meh. You know, I had some issues with Cygor, and so I returned it, and I've been waiting to find them for like a sale price before I pick them up again. I think that might be a good strategy for this guy. The $50 price point, I feel like the value doesn't quite hit nearly as strong as something like Violator. I'm personally not a huge fan of the character Overtkill, although I gotta say, I do dig this like reanimated Necro Overtkill. It's pretty cool. I don't have to tell you again. You can see it clear as day, right? This armor just needs more detail brought out. Some of these pieces here that only have just the single paint color on them, next to this great, like, disgusting skin, it just looks flat in comparison. You be the judge if you need them or not. I think even if you do need them, you might be best served to wait a little bit, see if you can't find them at a lower price. That is it for this one. Thanks for watching. I will see you all very soon. Bye.